you want to know my opinion on what I think, just keep on watching. What's good? It's your girl Nisi here, and I'm back with another video. And in today's video, as you already know by the title, your favorite president is trending like always. So we're shook over here in the UK, okay? Like these tariffs, these tax and stuff that he's putting into place. Obviously, we all know at the beginning he was trying to hit up China. But with the stock market, people are pulling out. The stock market's gone down. People are giving the side eye to you Americans. Like, someone needs to check your president because, yo, we're shaking over here. Like, again, I've only recently got into politics. I'm trying to get into finance as I'm getting older. You know, the whole stock market. I've invested in some stuff. But yeah, I'm shook. I'm not going to lie. Like, it really feels like a recession is about to come and it's on the way. So, yeah, guys. If you've not checked out my recent video that I did on Trump about the whole protest on April 5th, oh yeah, shout out to everyone that went out there. It was nice and peaceful, you know, there was no drama, none of that extraness. But yeah, if you've not seen that video, here's a picture and I will link it at the end of this video. You've ran the numbers up, so thank you. You've actually enjoyed that video. But yeah, in today's one, I'm just going to be reacting to people's reactions on TikTok. It's kind of half on half. Some people agree with Trump and think he's going to do wonders for American and the working people and bring back jobs. And others are like, no, he's mashing up the stock market. He's going to mash up the economic system. Like, so we're in a limbo. Me, obviously, I don't know too much with this whole like taxing and tariffs, but the way it's affecting Americans already, it doesn't look good.
President Trump's tariffs are one of the most harmful and unnecessary mistakes of the modern era.
They rip us off. It's so sad to see.
Almost everything Donald Trump has said about the history, economics, and technicalities of trade is delusional. Here's why. The president says his reciprocal tariffs are justified by other countries' barriers to America's goods. Currently, America imports more goods than it exports overall, and especially from countries such as China and Vietnam. To counteract this, he is setting tariffs to try to balance trade with every country. The formula boils down to this. Divide the trade deficit in goods with a country by their total goods exports to America, and then halve it to get the tariff. Take the European Union as an example. America's goods deficit with the EU was $236 billion in 2024. You divide that by the EU's goods exports to the US, which was $606 billion. The result is 39%, which his team has roughly halved to get the tariff of 20%. But this approach is flawed because trade deficits don't tell you much about barriers to trade. Take Brazil. It's notoriously protectionist and charges importers tariffs of more than double what the EU levies. Yet under Trump's scheme, it faces the minimum tariff of only 10%, half what's being charged to the European Union. Trade deficits just don't measure what Trump thinks they do. Saying that America needs balanced trade with every individual country is crackers. Let's take another example. Trump is levying an astonishing 37% reciprocal tariff on the small economy of Botswana, from which America buys about 4 times as much in goods as it sells. But what America buys from Botswana is mainly diamonds, because it has hardly any of its own. So does it really make sense to say that America must sell as much to Botswana as it buys? It's like saying that when you go to the jeweler to buy an engagement ring, they must buy something from you too. The effect of these tariffs on America's economy will be to increase the price of almost everything it imports, from food to phones, leading to higher inflation this year. In the long run, less trade means the economy will become less specialised, and it will have to duplicate things that are currently done overseas. This will hit productivity, and there will be less competitive pressure from imports to, say, make better and cheaper cars. The result will be that Americans take a hit to their real incomes and have less choice. Mr. Trump is convinced that he has seen global trade for the sham that it is. America is a victim and needs to fight back. But America is the world's wealthiest and most powerful economy. Mr. Trump's foolish tariffs will rebound on Americans as well as hurting foreigners. They will be a disaster.
Ooh, sorry guys, I know that video was a bit lengthy, but has anyone else got a headache after watching that? I'm just looking at all the like numbers and everything that's going on, and I'm just like, huh? Obviously, if you've got a business and you import a lot of goods from like other countries, obviously this is for you, you know what I mean? But because my business is not there yet, like even with like people doing hauls like with Shein and stuff, obviously you get the stuff super quick. With this in place, you know, you're not going to be getting like your parcels and things like that, your goods that quick. Or even if you do, you're going to have to start paying tax on it. It's like AliExpress for me. Before COVID, AliExpress was my place to go. After COVID, then they started putting tax on it. I was just like, so then I stopped shopping there. Then Shein came along, then Temu came along. But now, you know what I mean? They're going to slap on a tax with all this going into place. Like China, like I feel like Trump keeps poking China, like stop poking the bear, because soon he go, you know what I mean, he's gonna turn around and pop off. So yeah, for the people that were a bit confused by that clip, I've got a guy who's kind of broken it down and he's more on our level. He's like, he's for the people. So I'm gonna play that clip now.
The coverage around Trump's tariffs by the mainstream media has made me realize one thing, and it's that economics is explained to you in a really bad way. For example, take a look at this video by The Economist. It does a great job at explaining why the tariffs don't actually make sense, but it completely ignores the main question of the politics of why Trump is doing this in the first place. So the first main principle I want to teach you is this: whenever you see a political or economic decision being made, you need to ask yourself, who does this actually benefit? Mainstream media keeps portraying Trump as silly, erratic, and chaotic, but he's not, because all of these political decisions are almost always calculated. Instead of being shocked at how silly a policy sounds, we should be asking, how does this actually serve his interests? The second economic principle that you need to keep in mind is that, like energy, money is not created or destroyed, but it's transferred. So when you see yourself losing money on a stock, it's because someone else is gaining that money because they've sold that same stock at a high. Similarly, when you see your electricity and bills getting more expensive, that extra money doesn't vanish, but it's just going into someone else's profit. Key thing to note then is that markets are a system of value transfer. Money is literally passed around between different people. Keeping this in mind then, these tariffs are not some misguided policies to help the average American, but they are calculated tools of wealth transfer that are only there to serve Trump and his elite class. To understand this, I'm going to explain the economics to you very simply. All a tariff is a fancy way of saying that the government is going to make it more expensive to import goods from a foreign country. So if I'm a small business that buys things to get from China, I will now have to pay more money to get those things because of the tariff. Trump claims that this will help American industry because if it's more expensive to buy foreign goods, then people will look for cheaper domestic suppliers instead. This is meant to help Americans because it supposedly boosts local manufacturing. But here is the problem that both Trump and the mainstream media don't even want to talk about, and it's that these small American businesses are not primarily in competition with Chinese factories, because in a globalized economy, their biggest threat are giant financial corporations. Here's what's going to happen to small American businesses. Firstly, because things are more expensive to import, they're going to have to raise their prices, which eventually is paid by you, the consumer. So things are going to become more costly for the average person. And secondly, a lot of these small businesses are just not going to be able to absorb these higher costs, forcing a lot of them to shut down. But for these parasitic, large, financial and giant corporations, it's like Christmas has come early. Because they're so big and have inconceivable amounts of money and capital behind them, they're not even going to feel these tariffs. And actually, they are going to be able to swoop in and buy up the market share that has been left by all of these collapsed American businesses. Higher costs mean that people across American society are going to get poorer and smaller businesses are going to shut down. So all of this really is just a massive wealth extraction that allows Trump and his peers and his elites to get richer. Income inequality is literally going to skyrocket because remember, that wealth and that money that they are making is directly flowing from working people's pockets. So next time you see these news stories, start asking the real questions. Who is set to profit from these decisions?
Mom, I'm sorry in advance, but folks, this is what happens when you put a dumbass in the White House. This is what happens when you put incompetency in the White House. This is what happens when a man's only form of policy is rhetoric. You get the results that you get. This man has filed bankruptcy multiple times And folks said, let's put him back in the White House to fix the economy. Do y'all see what is happening right now to the stock market? I feel sorry for you folks that's getting ready to retire. Because I'm sure your 401k is taking a hit. To my military folks who have your money in your TSP, put it in government bonds. Protect what you've earned. Y'all, the stock market is closed right now and it's already crashing. The last time the United States launched a trade war like this, we went into a depression. Trump has put tariffs on over 60 countries because he believed that's going to reinvigorate American manufacturing. What world is this guy living in? This man is not living in reality. And anybody that knows a scintilla about economics understands that tariffs do not help your economy. As a matter of fact, they do the exact opposite. And the Republican Party is just standing idly by, clapping this clown on as if he's Kim Jong-un of North Korea, when the Republican Party is supposed to be the party of free trade. Folks, we are cooked. We are so cooked, it's not even funny. But this is what you get when you put this type of chicanery in the White House.
Listen, from when someone's apologizing at the beginning, like, sorry, mom, but, you know, I mean, you already know he's going to go in. But, yeah, did he tell any lies? Like, I agree. In real life, if you've claimed bankruptcy like multiple times, ain't nobody giving you a loan, ain't no one giving you a mortgage. But just because, you know, he's a celebrity and he's, you know, Donald Trump Towers, it's okay. He makes me laugh and he's like, and you idiots put this guy back into office. I'm hoping that it comes through. Like, imagine he did this and it actually worked. It's like, you know what I mean? Then we can congratulate him, you know what I mean? But yeah, I agree with him. For the people that are trying to retire, trying to buy their first house, small businesses, this ain't it. Even just people that are struggling with the like groceries, like Trump, what's happening with the eggs? Like, you know what I mean? Farmers, you know what I mean? He's deported a lot of people and they used to pick like the fruits and stuff, you know, fruits, veg. Who's doing that now? Because white Americans are not trying to do that, and definitely black Americans are not going to. So yeah. But yeah, I agreed pretty much everything he said in that video. Like, realistically, if Trump was in a real life a normal person, you wouldn't vote for him to be in parliament or the president. You wouldn't give him a car loan, a loan for a house, like a mortgage, even a phone. Like, you wouldn't give him a phone contract because he's been bankrupt so many times. But with saying that, I do know why, some of the reasons why he has, you know, applied for bankruptcy. You know what I mean? It's like when 50 Cent did it back in the day. So, if you know, you know. But yeah, again, I agree with what he said.
I'm seeing more and more people online saying, well, I voted for Trump, but I didn't vote to lose my job, and I didn't vote for a global trade war, and I didn't vote for Elon Musk to run amok in the government slashing agencies and cutting jobs, and I didn't vote to see America's allies cast aside. Oh, what the fuck are you talking about? Of course you voted for that. You were perfectly happy to see all that happen as long as it didn't happen to you. And now that the leopard is eating your face, suddenly you've changed your tune. Well, you get no sympathy from me. You voted for that. You wanted that. So you sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor. I don't care what happens to you. I just want you to feel the pain that you brought on yourself, because that is the only way you can learn.
Okay, old man, looked like he was out of breath for taking all them steps, but again, I agree with him. Like, he had to say it, you know what I mean? Like, you lot voted for him, but now you're hurting just because basically the snake has bit you now. Like, I just love it. Well, what did he say? The leopard's bit you in the face. I love that phrase. I was like, okay, not the leopard biting you in the face. You thought it was going to happen to someone else, but it happened to you. So now you're like, I didn't vote for this. No, you did vote for this. No, this is what you voted for. But no, I agree with him. Like, shout out to him, you know what I mean? He's been around, he's lived through, you know what I mean, a lot of stuff. He's seen people come and go. But like he said, like, this ain't it. But again, the ones that voted for him, you thought he was going to attack, you know, the minorities and, you know, other people. But now that it's affecting you, you're feeling some type of way. It's even with me in the UK. I voted for Labour. Has it affected me? Yes, and people around me. So, you know, when you've just got to take the L, I'm going to take that L. I'm never going to vote for Labour again. And I'm sure, well, Trump, he can't run again anyway because this is his second term. But yeah, like he said, you voted for this, so.
Great news, everyone. That Biden economy that they said was so bad, the worst economy ever, well, it just got a whole lot worse. Way worse for everyone, but only in the short term. In the long term, however, this will make the American economy go boom. Boom! 5 big booms. Boom! That's how they sound right now. You're either stupid or you're in extreme denial. American people can't afford to live in a bad economy for 5-10 years under the potential promise it gets better in the long term. What does that even mean? It doesn't mean anything. Why would a billionaire look out for the working class? How did a billionaire make $1 billion? Spoiler alert, he took advantage of the working class. They have zero incentive. Donald Trump has zero incentive to do anything for anybody but him and his billionaire friends. It's going to be the greatest depression. The last depression wasn't even great. It wasn't even a great depression. This one's going to be greater, bigger, longer. It's going to be the greatest one. They'll look back.
I liked his response, given the crazy hair and, you know, and just the way he was mimicking Trump at the end, like, that depression, I can't even do it, but that depression wasn't a great depression. Like, this is going to be great. You know how Trump talks, and it's just like, But yeah, what he said, you know, everyone's like, oh, Biden, you know, what he did, that was so bad. There's bad and then there's worse. And I feel like with Trump doing this, it's going to go worse, you know what I'm saying? Even with all these people like, where's Kamala Harris? Why are we calling for her? Like, she didn't win, so why are we looking for her and shouting her? Sleepy Joe, I've not seen him since, you know what I mean, he handed the presidency over to Trump. But again, like, don't look for them because they're not in power, you know what I mean? We need to be looking at the VP, Elon Musk, because Elon Musk is always around the White House now, you know what I mean? And we need to be looking at them like, so even Putin at this point, because Trump and Putin seem to be like that, so it's just like, can you help us out? Like, but yeah, again, I loved his response and everything he said was pretty much on point. Like, this ain't it.
So Trump just destroyed my business, my small business. Trump announced his massive tax plan on items coming from other countries. He says that the countries are going to pay that. That's false. It's the person bringing it in. And I own a small business. I've been in operation since 2018. I've been incredibly successful, basically doubling my business every single year. And it's not a product that can be made here in the United States. But I've had a lot of people say, well, what about the tariffs before? Yeah, I didn't have any. That was 0% tariffs for me, 0% tax. He added 10% in February. Then he added another 10% in March. And then yesterday, he just announced an additional 34% on top of that. So for all products coming in from China, that is now 54%. So most retail goods, stores, products, there's about a 30 to 40% profit margin, okay? Profit margin. That profit margin, a lot of the times, that's not even a living wage, okay? But that 30 to 40% is how the people that own that business are able to like live. And then there's still other expenses on top of that. 54% tax is more than the profit that most retailers or business owners would make. Well, a 54% tax. And I'm just paying that money straight to Trump.
Ooh, I feel it. For a person that's trying to start and have a small business, for people that import stuff every day, and like she said, she doesn't import stuff from China because she wants to. It's just because that's where, you know, the stuff are. Come on, let's call a spade a spade. China's the GOAT, basically. Like, they make like 90% of everything in the world, not just from America, but in the world. I remember being young and getting toys from McDonald's, you know, in a Happy Meal, and it always would say made in China. And then obviously it became a running joke, you know what I mean? But everything is literally made in China. Even the simplest of things is made in China. With the UK, we get our fruit and veg from like Europe. So even us doing the whole Brexit, that fumbled us. Like, I don't want Americans to learn from us. The Brexit was a no-no, and now Trump's trying to bring in this whole tariff. It's just like, no. I voted against Brexit because I do like to travel, and even with that, we have to pay big taxes now when we go to the hotels or wherever you're staying, and it's just annoying, you know what I mean? Even in some places, you have to have a visa, and it's just like, before I could just come here and just, you know what I mean? I was a part of the club. Now I'm getting stopped at the door, and it's like, no, you can't come in. But yeah, people in small businesses trying to retire, trying to buy their first property, like, I feel for them, and just be careful because if a recession is coming and then things are gonna like skyrocket prices, you know what I mean? You've got to consider that. So for now, I would say hold off, just save your money and just see how this thing's gonna work out. But again, people that have small businesses, a lot are gonna have to close. Maybe fine, I don't know, start selling other stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but yeah, I feel like I could feel the pain with her doing that video.
The United States is 15% of China's export market. So what Trump is proposing is now a retaliatory 50% additional tariff. So that brings the tariffs on Chinese goods to approximately 100%. And is China going to back down from their 34% tariffs? What does the situation look like from their point of view? From their point of view, the United States is removing itself from the international order. It is blowing up our alliances. It is isolating itself. China also produces 90% of the world's rare earth metals that are essential for all high-tech engineering. China could easily shut off rare earth exports to the United States entirely. They're already saying they're going to restrict the sale. China could be making the calculation that they're going to trade with friendly countries and set up a free trade regime that is excluding the United States. The impact on U.S. technology and economic dominance in the world would be quite large. Trump does not seem to care about this, and I suspect he may just push forward with this to the maximum extent. This would be absolutely catastrophic for the United States economy. China would then be establishing its dominance over the entire globe. So essentially what Trump is doing is removing the United States from the center of global trade and potentially just handing over world dominance to China.
Ooh, I agree with him. Like, the way it's like giving it to China on a silver platter. Like, listen, China's been running to be #1 for time. You know what I mean? Like, they're so like futuristic, like China and Japan, like just the way everything is in their country. And again, most things are made in China. A lot of the really good cars, you know what I mean? Forget all these German cars and all the name brands. The ones that can last you for a long time are Chinese or Asian cars are made by Asian people, you know what I mean? China's ready, so like my man said, you're literally just giving it to China. Like, I feel like they're ready, they've been waiting, you know, you're just waiting to take the spotlight. China is ready, like, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, everything he said, pretty much, you know what I mean? And the fact that he's Asian as well, like, he knows what he's talking about, and if you're into politics and you just see how everything's trickling, one thing I know about China, they're ready, like, they're ready, you know what I mean? Even, like, the US dollar not being that, having that impact anymore. Same with the British pound, the sterling pound, like, it doesn't have that impact like it used to have. Again, I like to travel, so, you know, things are a lot more expensive now when I travel, and it's just like, wow, the pound doesn't mean anything. And again, that's happening with the US dollar also. But again, in this video, in this clip, I agreed with what he said.
Every fucking car isn't made in the United States. All of them. There is no American car. They cross between borders constantly throughout the manufacturing process. It look everyone. The most reliable fucking car brands are Japanese made and European made cars. There's no American auto manufacturing. It doesn't happen here. This is a 25% price increase on cars. Like, period. Well, Nick, they'll start making cars here. Yeah, it's gonna take like 8 years. You can't just snap your fingers and have auto manufacturing overnight. That's not how anything has ever fucking worked. It's a 25% price increase. Boy, when these people go to buy their brand new F-350 that they don't need for their cushy office job, it's gonna be 115 grand. Good luck even getting a used car for under 20, a good used car. I'm sure the replacement part market, too, is gonna jack the fuck up. There's no auto manufacturing here. Everything's imported. The best cars are imported. This Toyota I'm driving right now is imported. That's why it's good. The in-shitification of your cars? Really? That too? I am a public transit advocate. I think we should have access to mass public transit that's very cheap and free in all of our cities. Streetcars, trams, subways, trains, etc. This is certainly one way to get there, yeah, but we can't do that overnight. So everybody's just gonna have cars that are $5,000 to $10,000 more expensive because the president decided so. Also, this whole tariff thing, I'm just gonna say this. If you stayed this long, thank you, number one. And number two, if he pulls back this tariff again, it's all stock market manipulation. Like, we're just gonna agree on that at that point, right? Because this, like, even fucking Wall Street people have absolutely no idea what he's doing anymore. Nobody knows if he means it or not. What kind of shitty timeline is this? So yeah, learn how to fix your own car because you're going to be keeping it for a while.
Donald Trump's plan to push other nations around with his tariffs, like China, has backfired in a bad way for the entire MAGA regime. They did not expect China to respond, to hit Beijing with an extra 50% tariff if China doesn't withdraw its retaliatory tariffs on Tuesday. Beijing's Commerce Ministry said it would never accept the, quote, blackmail nature of the U.S., that's what it is, blackmail, and vowed to, quote, fight till the end. Analysts say the standoff increases the likelihood of an all-out trade war between the U.S. and China. The new tariffs could leave some U.S. companies bringing in certain goods from China facing a 104% tax. This is a 104% tax on the American people from all goods made in China. And as you all know, a lot of goods we use in the U.S. are made in China. So Donald Trump is about to cost you and your family thousands of additional dollars per year, even though he promised to lower the price of groceries, lower the price of eggs. He's actually going to make everything more expensive and crash the stock market, leaving the U.S. as an unreliable trading partner that no other country in the world wants to work with, and every country is going to work with China instead. This plan has backfired for MAGA in a big way.
Like what he said, like with China, like backfiring the idea or the plan that Trump's got for them, like China are ready. Like when I say they are ready, like even with this whole TikTok debacle going back and forth and they're going to keep it, and it's just like, I just love how China, they've got TikTok obviously, but theirs is completely different. Theirs is to help the community to build up, why the American TikTok's drama, people begging on there, people with a bunch of kids, you know what I mean? It's just negative stuff. But yeah, I agree with him. Trump's trying to do something, but it's not working. So I agree with everything he's saying there. But yeah, this ain't gonna end well.
I know that you may want to believe that Trump is crashing the stock market as well as the economy, but guess what? He's actually resetting it. And although the elites may be panicking, the middle class might as well get prepared because we are about to experience one of the biggest wealth transfers that we have ever seen before. What Donald Trump is doing is something that none of us have ever seen before. And the reason for that is because this man is creating history. America is about to officially be back on the map as one of the wealthiest countries. We are about to bring manufacturing back to America again. We are about to bring so many jobs back to America again. Do y'all realize what this means? The fact that the American people have been taken advantage of for so long and no one has ever fought for us is absolutely diabolical to me. I know that many people may not agree with what it is that Donald Trump is doing, but all I gotta say is welcome to the Great Reset. America is definitely on its way to being great again. He did his big one with this one, y'all. I don't care what y'all say.
Shout out to that black woman, because after saving that video, I went through her comments and they were dragging the hell out of her. Obviously, first of all, because she's black and they're like, Trump don't even like you, Listen, if she wants to believe what she believes, like, kudos to her. But yeah, she's like, he's gonna bring jobs back. That's what people are going off. Like, he's gonna, you know, make America great again. He's bringing it back. And it's just like, yeah, a recession is coming. You're gonna have to pay more money for things. And you know what's scary? How Canada's just cut you guys off. Like, that was your cousin. Even the UK, we're shaking over here, so things are dead shaky. But yeah, Canada, for the people that live, you know what I mean, in the Midwest, Minnesota and all that, they get their electricity from Canada, which I didn't know. Like, researching for this, I found out that you get a lot of stuff from Canada because they're just above you. You used to, from New York, you'd be able to just go, like, drive into Canada. Now you've got to have, like, a visa or something mad like that. Like, Canada were the first ones to put their foot down and like, you know what, okay, you just want to do this, you know what I mean? Someone was shopping the other day, stuff that were from Canada, the prices skyrocketed, it's gone up. So yeah, shout out for her confidence on what she believes in. She's standing behind Trump, 10 toes down. But yeah, this ain't it, sis.
Tariffs work. Trump brought back factory jobs, baby. You're hired, man. Pay us $3 a day. How am I supposed to survive on $15 a week? $21 a week, no days off, and no bathroom breaks. What if I need to go to the bathroom? You hold it in like a real patriot. Why is everybody wearing masks? Yeah, they're pretty much breathing in toxic fumes all day. I doubt they even work. Well, what are they breathing in? Yeah, mostly chemicals that are banned in other countries. Oh my god. And what's up with all the kids? Is it Bring Your Kid to Work Day? Every day is Bring Your Kid to Work Day. They work here too. Is that a baby? Ah, that's our head safety inspector.
Okay guys, so that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, especially you Americans. Shout out to my American viewers and subscribers. I love y'all. But yeah, please like, comment, subscribe and share this video. Stay safe and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.